Here's a quick recap of my life as a Subway franchisee. These are some of the most recent events that I've been going through, and I just wanted to share those with you. So my remodel has just been completed. It did take a little longer than I expected. We started at the end of January, and we're just now wrapping things up. That's because of various things, but we are finally done. I'm just waiting on final approval, so I'm excited about that. One thing I am hoping for is Subway initially had all franchisees on a 7-year renewal term. I'm at the very tail end of that. My store is actually remodeled partially on the old style, partially on the new style that they're swapping over to. So what I'm hoping, and I won't really know for another 7 years, that when my next remodel comes up, that they'll be lenient since I was at the tail end and allow me to extend that to the 10-year mark before I have to remodel again, which would be awesome. One of the issues that delayed our remodel was because of the blueprint was a little off. When Subway does these build outs, sometimes things get a little wacky, but my bathrooms are actually blueprinted for 8-foot and they're actually 10-foot ceilings. So we had a little issue there between me and the remodeler and Subway, and we got all that worked out and I got that done. So now my focus after the remodeling is done is really going to be marketing and growing sales for right now. And I have a little bullet list that I'm personally working on to grow those things. Just to give you a little rundown of them. One is getting my pole sign up and running, the one out by the road. It currently doesn't have electricity ran to it, so it's not lit up at night. The little sign under it is I don't know the proper term, what to call it, but it's the white light box. You know, you can slide like black letters in and it illuminates, and like you can manually put up phrasing to advertise. Kind of want to swap that white light box, at least that's what I'm calling it, off and putting a nice LED sign under there and then getting power ran to my pole sign. The reason the power is off on the pole sign is because it's set up on an old system that is not metered. So the way Alabama Power does a unmetered connection to something like a commercial pole sign is a flat rate of $90 a month, which is actually way higher than it would use in reality, because this only is kicking on using power at night and it's not even going throughout the whole night, things like that. So $90 is high for that. So I'm going to see if I can get them to put a meter in. That should kick it down to a $10, $15 flat rate fee, and then another whatever the power uses up. You know, it's very likely will be way less than $90 a month. Another thing that I'm doing is going to be focusing on catering and just getting passive upsells. One struggle that I've had is, and I think a lot of franchisees have this, is getting employees just to do natural upselling. Because you have high turnover, you're having to constantly retrain this. So what I have opted to do instead is to put appropriate signage up and marketing material in key spots. So like, for example, on our cookie case, we have a stainless steel spot. It's probably 3 to 6 inches tall. This is kind of broken down to 2 sections, but essentially what I'm going to do, instead of having the employee always say, hey, we'd like chips and a drink, which they do that, that's like the bare minimum, guests can also get like 3 cookies for $2.49. So they can get a few more cookies at a cheaper price. And I think if I can just put a sign at the bottom of the cookie case and advertise that naturally, I'll have a lot more success. I've already done this with things like bacon and avocado. You know, the meat thing that Subway has for your meats on the back side, the customer facing side. I have signage that I have basically made in Canva. I have laminated these ads or the signage. I have made it a near copy of Subway approved signage that they use for like their own things. And I've just made it into my own. That way it still looks very corporate as far as like how official it is. I've actually seen it live in action where a guest was getting a sub, saw the sign, say, hey, can I add bacon to my sub and double the cheese? It was all because they saw that sign. The employee did not say anything. I physically saw the customer look down, read it, and then ask for it afterwards. So it does work. It just a little bit of paper, a little bit of time, and some laminate and whatnot can passively just increase the sales of your store. I've seen it in action. It does work. Some other things that I'm looking to do are some direct mail marketing, sending out a postcard to everybody's mailbox locally. There's still a lot of people that actually do not know that I own this store now. And I think that's because, one, it's a little bit of an older demographic. It's a small town. And I've mainly only hit the Facebook group. So word of mouth in a small town does travel quick, but it doesn't hit everybody. I have a lot of older people that are not very good with technology and things like that. And I think if I can reach out to their mailboxes, say, hey, your Subway has a new owner, come in, have a free cookie on us, no purchase necessary, something like that to help get them in the door, I think that would really help. But my main focus, and a really big focus, is really to grow sales, is going to be catering. I am working on expanding a spreadsheet that I have, just collecting emails and names and things like that of different businesses. So far, I've only really done all the schools, but I've done every single school in my county, and I've collected all like the PTO, vice principals' names, emails, things like that. That way I can reach out during their events, things like Teacher Appreciation Week at the end of the year, things like that, and pitch catering. My goal is to really, I would love to have recurring catering deals with businesses or just anybody in general, so I can get them consistently coming in every month. Other than that, there's just some little behind the scenes of what I've been doing at the store. Obviously, when things break, it kind of depends. Sometimes I have people come in and fix these things that break. Sometimes it's me going in. It kind of just depends on what it is. Like recently, our mop sink faucet, we have like it's straight piped out of the wall, straight above our mop area, and there's no like special cutoff for it. I had an employee call me late at night to where the hot water handle actually broke off, was shooting water up like a geyser. She had to hold it with her hand, and I had to call my assistant manager up to come up to the store in order to go cut the main water off and things like that. And she had to sit there and hold that water. Fortunately, this happened late at night. This was towards the cleaning up period where she was about to mop the floors is when it happened. Luckily, no customers came in between that time. She asked me what to do if one does. I jokingly told her, I was like, have the customer hold the knob and while you go make the sandwich, right? But obviously we wouldn't have done that. We got the water cut off next day. I run to Lowe's, get like a pipe plug. We put it in the knob, get it sealed off until I can get a more permanent solution, which would be replacing the entire faucet unit. So little things like that, I will come in and I will fix. I'm trying to learn HVAC a little bit so I can kind of repair my own equipment because it is expensive to have other people work on it. Felt like everything was breaking down at once there for a little while. I literally had to replace my entire meat side of my unit. I had to replace the cabinet cooler behind the line. My walk-in refrigerator went down and my walk-in freezer went down. So and then I also had a leak from the ceiling from the unit that we're renting that's actually was on the landlord side as far as, repairs, but it's still an issue that I had to deal with. So it really felt like everything was breaking down at once for probably about a solid week, maybe more there, just back to back to back. But we got everything tackled, we got everything handled. I will say that I did that big, large white deep freeze that I bought from Home Depot when I first bought my store has still saved me over and over again. Every time these issues happen, I can turn it down to a freezer, I can turn it to a fridge, and I can move product when other things go down, so that way we do not lose food. So far, we haven't had to throw out any food due to mechanical failure, just employee failure once or twice. But mechanically, that deep freeze unit has saved me so many times. The only other thing I have dealt with recently that's been kind of an issue, for the very first time ever, I did have to take some money from out of an employee's paycheck because of money that they mishandled. So customer came in and was buying their food. They handed over $30. The employee rounded it up as $40. What that caused was when the employee gave change, she gave back $10 in change that she wasn't supposed to. She punched in the wrong number. She didn't count the change that was handed to her. So that had to be taken out of her paycheck. Now, I posted about this on TikTok and got a lot of backlash, and a lot of people saying, hey, I should have ate the cost, right? Some people were worried about the legality of that. In my state, I don't know about other states, but here it is totally legal to recoup mishandling of funds and things like that. One, because it's in the employee agreement that they sign and agree to whenever they accept employment here to work for me. Everybody is sent a link to a living document that, and anytime it is changed, they have 3 days to let me know if there's anything they disagree with, or if they agree with it, they're submitted into it automatically if they don't raise any concerns. That's part of their employment here is to agree with that employee contract. Another thing is this same employee, she's a great employee, don't get me wrong, she's a great closer, everything like that, but she's had some other issues in the past, nothing major, she's like wasted food, she's broken some food pans, she left a cabinet cooler cracked overnight, and that's the one instance where we did have to throw away a lot of product. Our entire bin of meats and veggies had to get thrown out that day, which is very expensive. And this is the first time that I had to hold somebody accountable and say, hey, I hate that this happened, but I will have to deduct this from your upcoming paycheck to reimburse the business. I don't like doing things like that, but that is the first time I've had to do it, and hopefully that's far and few in between. I'm sure it's really a small price to pay for her, and then I'm sure she'll be more careful in the future. As far as this channel and things, I'm starting to upload a lot more shorts as well. I'm just trying to keep everything really like natural, just me talking to the camera, giving updates on what I'm doing, income reports, just y'all can see how the business grows and what I'm doing to grow it, and and the failures I have along the way. So hopefully this style of content really resonates with a lot of you. I'm trying to make it really not, I'm trying to stay away from all like the super clickbaity, just stuff that people do. Like, hey, top franchises, blah, 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 or why owning a Subway is great, or why owning a Subway sucks, or whatever. I'm trying to stay away from all that clickbait stuff and just give you real, genuine truth on what it is like and what I'm actually doing running my store. So I hope you appreciate that. I hope this content comes across genuine, because it is. If you have any content ideas, do let me know. Because right now, I haven't ran out of ideas, but I'm sure that's something I see a lot of like content creators run into in the future. They do have problems eventually coming up with content. So maybe let me know. Give me things that you do want to see. Even if it's recurring kind of content. Do you want to see me like making subs some days? The days I do go in, even if it's just for me and my kids, those little point of view style videos. I do like making those. I bought some like Meta Ray-Ban glasses for that you can record with. Very helpful for that. Just anyway, any cool shots or content, yeah, just let me know. Give me your ideas. Thanks.